Well, hey there everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me again today. Hope all of you have had a spectacular Monday out there. I'm just kind of getting started for the week. Laying out a plan, figuring out what I need to get done, and taking care of business. And the first thing of business, I wanted to talk about the #1 key to success on raw food diet. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you haven't already done it, go down there right now and hit that subscribe button, and then as soon as you do that, click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I was answering a few questions, I think, over on Instagram this morning, or responding to some comments. And, you know, it's just kind of like a big picture. Get a lot of questions, and I see a lot of questions out there, and everybody's kind of like trying to figure out how to do this lifestyle, how to make it easy. Little tricks, little tips, little, you know, just figuring out how to do it. And as I got thinking about it, you know, it's really this has got to be something you have to enjoy your food. And as I'm saying this, this isn't just another one of the videos encouraging you to learn how to get in the kitchen and make food for yourself. You know, take recipes, find recipes that really work for you. But it's a little bit more of a broader thought there. It's just that this is a lifestyle. That's why it always must be stressed, the difference in this being a lifestyle as you know, compared to a diet. And you're not going to succeed on this lifestyle, thrive, be happy, do this thing long term, unless you somehow kind of make it a natural way of living. In other words, you don't want to be thinking all day, every day, what can I substitute this? You don't want it to be like this cerebral exercise of, okay, do I constantly have to be doing some sort of a trick, a gimmick, a this or a that to keep myself raw, to keep myself on a plant-based diet or whatever it is that you're trying to do. What you really need to be looking for is ways to make this lifestyle more natural to you in your particular environment, where you live geographically, like who the people are you're living with, just everything. It's got to be personal for you, and this thing has to be natural. Listen, you're not going to, okay, I do it. You might say, well, you talk about food all the time. Well, I do a YouTube channel, and I'm talking about it on social media quite a bit. I can tell you, for the average person, if you're going to spend all day, every day thinking about food, it's not going to last very long. This is probably just going to end up being a fad for you, because at some time it's almost like, okay, you've been to all the groups, you've participated, you've asked all the questions, you've watched all the videos. It's time to take the training wheels off and do this lifestyle and just not even really talk about it all that much. The reason this lifestyle worked for me, and it continues to work for me, is I embraced it. I embraced it, and it just became part of my life, to where now, you know, I just do it. I don't really think about it a lot. Yes, if I'm gonna, the only time I really think about particular food and this and that is a lot of times if I'm doing something for social media, like if I'm doing a recipe video, or if I'm doing something that's related to sharing. But otherwise, if it's just about, for me personally, eating food, I just kind of eat. You know, when I get hungry, I'll go in the kitchen and, okay, what do I feel like right now? Or what is it time for? You know, there's just not a lot of thought that goes into it. I'm not following a plant-based diet anymore. I'm not doing the raw vegan lifestyle. It's just, you know, it's become part of life, just like before, you know, when it's become part of my life, but it's a healthier way of living than I lived before. But it's a similar mentality. I didn't like to think about food all the time when I was living on the standard American diet. And in fact, I could get cranky if I got around people that were constantly thinking about food. Let me tell you my little pet peeves back in the day. One pet peeve, like if you were traveling, driving somewhere, or if you just had a busy day planned, I didn't have a lot of patience with people that we had to stop what we were doing to concentrate on food. Food was kind of always, you know, even though I wasn't eating good, it was an afterthought. You ate it, you know, when you got to a stopping point or when you had a chance to. And another thing that always drove me nuts was somebody that was always thinking about the next meal. I have a real good friend that I spent some time with years ago, and I used to joke with them and say, like, we would literally finish breakfast and that it would already be like, so what do you want to do for dinner tonight, you know? But they were European, and we did think, when I lived in Europe, there was a lot more food oriented, a lot more the experience of the food. But I just didn't want to be thinking about food all the time. I remember I used to mention it to people. We're going to eat roughly, okay, some people eat less or more a day, but we're going to roughly eat 3 meals a day for the entirety of our life. So I just didn't want to be thinking about food all the time. And a lot of times, a lot of the patterns that I did when I was eating on a standard American diet have not really changed for me. It's just the content of the food. In other words, like, my way of doing things, my mindset is still pretty much the same. I was very repetitive when I was on the standard American diet, going back to not wanting to think about food, not be constantly trying to, okay, what can I come up with different here? I would go into I ate lots of leftovers. I would order bigger meals so I would have leftovers. I would get a taste for something and I would eat the same thing over and over and over and over. You're not going to do anything long term if you don't enjoy it. And enjoyment, that's kind of a broad term right there. It's about, like I say, enjoyment, you enjoying it. This is not something where you're going to learn how to do the universal raw vegan lifestyle or a universal plant-based diet. Everybody, no matter, you know, if we have the same philosophies or we eat in general the same way, we all have a personal style that comes through with how we choose our food, how we eat our food, just our patterns of eating. Like I say, I know people that hardly ever repeat themselves. They hardly ever eat leftovers. They're almost eating something different every meal. Like I say, it works for me just to eat the same thing over and over and over and over, not to have to think about the food so much, which is why I just tend to default to an ice cream so much. But like I said, the number one key is to make this lifestyle your own. That's why I want to go back to that, taking the training wheels off of the bike. Because the training wheels are kind of like when we're new to this lifestyle, you're watching everybody's videos, you're trying to figure out what's going on, you're trying to educate yourself, you're reading books, you're learning recipes, and all of this stuff. And that's important, because none of us come to something just brand new and know what to do. But after a while, you kind of need to stop trying to copy other people. You're not me. You're not this person, you're not this person, you're not this person. You live where you live in your circumstances. So you need to stop, at some point, you need to take those training wheels off. Stop copying other people. Stop watching other people's version or what works for them, and make that transition and start with a little intuitiveness and figure out, okay, what makes this lifestyle really work for me? Let's forget what the YouTube people are doing. Let's forget what the person that writes a book is doing. How do I make this lifestyle work for me? Because, you know, experts can't tell you how to make it work for you. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight. Most likely you're going to have to work through and get rid of a lot of the cravings before you get to that place of just being able to enjoy this lifestyle, embrace this lifestyle, and just do it naturally, and your body ask for the best things for itself. Going back to, you know, every time you falter, you backstep, you reintroduce something into your body that you know you shouldn't, you know that's not good for you, whether it's the processed stuff, whether it's cooked, whether it's salt, whether it's oil, you know, think of whatever it is that's your kryptonite, you know, that gives you a problem on this. You're going to have to get rid of that, and you're going to have to kind of, and like I say, this is where I kind of get a little bit, I don't feel like I am communicating it clearly, because it's just, you know, everybody's process is different like that. How you get rid of a craving for something is different for different people. But I will say this, every time you reintroduce that back into your body, it's almost like in some ways you're starting over, because it just kicks up that craving again, and that's just like delaying you from getting to this place. Look, to finish it all up, once again, this thing has to just be natural. You can't be thinking all day, every day, okay, what little trick am I going to use? Try to envision yourself, you know. Don't try to think about rushing it, or don't think like you're in a hurry to get there, but envision yourself, say, a year from now, and envision yourself just doing this lifestyle. Not studying it, not trying to do it anymore, not working, not doing this. Just simply, it's just part of your lifestyle. It's become part of who you are, because that's all it is with me. And when I mention that, by no means, and you probably won't be either, when I say that, that's not to say, ooh, I've arrived somewhere or I do it perfectly. It's just that even when I'm not at the top of my game, even when I don't make the best eating choices, I mean, I'm still making good choices. So it's, you know, and I'm not a fanatic with it, but that's not the point. The point is not to try to be perfect. The point is just to like get to a place, look, I'm happy with where I am. I'm happy with my health. I'm happy with how I feel. I'm happy with how I eat every day. And that's why this lifestyle works for me, is because I'm not trying to do it. I'm not having to hold back on things. I'm not having to white knuckle it. I'm not having to keep myself from going to that refrigerator and making bad choices, because I don't have bad choices here in the house. So embrace the lifestyle. Learn how to enjoy this lifestyle. Is what we enjoy, we gravitate towards. And as soon as you can figure out how to do this lifestyle in a way that you enjoy, it'll be effortless, I promise you. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.